Right, thank you. Dear students, today we're going to talk about writing task 1 and writing task 2 in IELTS. We already have done this quite a few times, and I would like to tell again about the main features of writing task 1. So whenever you start writing task 1 in IELTS, it's very important that in academic IELTS, it's very important that we keep in view that we start the graph with this introductory phrase the graph shows. Since you are given only one graph or one process to describe, so it's better to write this introductory phrase, the graph shows or the diagram shows. But sometimes you can also use an alternative like illustrates, or sometimes some students they like to write a synonym for shows or illustrates, which is depicts. So this is how you can start the graph, and you can give an overall view of the process or the graph, the bar chart or the pie chart or the table given. If it's a table, you can write the table shows. If it's a pie chart, you can write the pie chart shows. If there are two graphs, then you can write the graphs show. The second sentence could be according to, and if there are two graphs, you can write according to the first graph, and then you describe the information given in the graph. Now remember, we do not explain graphs, we describe them. And to describe graphs, it's important that you summarize the information. Now, how to summarize the information in the graph? Because the information is more and you have to make it precise. Precision is important. You have to make it brief and you have to summarize it, which means you have to either compare or contrast or do both. To compare means to find similarities. That's why we use words like similarly or likewise when we compare the graphs. And we use words like on the other hand, which is a phrase, usually it comes in the beginning of the paragraph, so we call it introductory phrase. Or in the middle of a sentence, we can use words like while or whereas to show contrast or difference. Or we can use words like less than, phrases like less than, more than, basically to show the difference, to make comparison, to show contrast. And so that's why we use the comparative degree. And also we can use a superlative degree like smallest, greatest. So that actually gives you the idea how to summarize the information. We have to write a minimum of 150 words in 20 minutes. That's what we have to do while describing a graph or a table or a pie chart or a combination of graph and a table or a process. Now, writing task 2 is a bit different. Writing task 2 is where you write an essay, which is not a descriptive essay. It is either an argumentative essay or cause and effect essay or problem solution essay, which is also known as expository essay, or you have to write an opinion essay where you agree to some extent with a statement, or it could be lopsided, like there is more information in favor of the argument that you are trying to give as a writer. Like it could be lopsided in a way that 70% is in favor of the statement, the argument, and 30% is against it. So it could be lopsided. However, usually when we write to what extent do you agree or disagree, it means we give an opinion, which may not be a strong opinion. It could be a bit of both. And it's very important that we keep in view that sometimes opinion essays can also be called discursive essays because of the element of conflict in them. Now, whenever we write a 40 minutes essay, which is writing task 2 in IELTS, we must keep in view that those 40 minutes are to be utilized to the full. And whenever we write the introduction of an essay, it should always start with a background statement, which is the opening statement. The background statement is also a general statement. The background statement is followed by a thesis statement, which can be different in an argumentative essay, where actually we combine the information given in the topic statement. So we combine like topic statement 1, topic statement 2, and topic statement 3. We paraphrase it, and then we write that thesis statement. This is what happens in an argumentative essay. And a thesis statement, as I said earlier, is followed by the background statement. Whereas in an opinion essay, a thesis statement is a paraphrase, but it is a paraphrase of like someone else's ideas. So it could be, for example, the topic is about the benefits of on-campus learning, which is also known as on-site learning, and the benefits of online learning, which is better, right? So you have to present both views. So your thesis statement should combine both, and then you can write an outline statement where you can tell that now I will discuss both views and give my own opinion. So this is how you can make your introduction with a background statement and a thesis statement. In an argumentative essay, and in an opinion essay, it is the background statement and the thesis statement plus the outline statement. Now this is followed by the body paragraphs, and body paragraphs delineate and express whatever is written in the introduction. You can also give some examples here. Now when we conclude, the last part of your essay is conclusion. So conclusion should always start with rewriting thesis statement, which you wrote in the introduction part, but now you have to rephrase it and then write again in the conclusion. This should be the first sentence of your conclusion. It should be followed by your opinion if the essay requires your opinion, and then it should end with a concluding statement. Now remember that there should be coherence between the introduction, body paragraphs, and the conclusion to get more band score in IELTS. So I hope it was of some help. Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we come across this kind of task. This is writing task 1 in IELTS, in which there is a diagram, and for example, this topic is the diagram shows the manufacturing process for making sugar from sugarcane. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Now, this kind of task can be dealt with. It can be dealt with using present passive, which is a be form plus past participle. For example, we can use the phrase is crushed or is processed. This phrase actually shows that we are describing a process. given in the diagram. The other thing which the examiner requires, when we are writing report as aspirants and candidates, the examiner requires us to summarize the information, which can be done in a way that we show the comparison. And the comparison can be done in two ways: by comparing, showing similarity, using words like likewise or similarly, or showing the difference, contrast, using introductory phrase like on the other hand, or using words in the middle to show difference like while or whereas. Also, contrast can be shown in this way by using the phrases like less than, more than, greater than, smaller than, the comparative degrees, or it could be superlative degrees like smallest, greatest. So I hope it will suffice. Thank you.